And we're having a conversation.
Yeah, but
we're not making declarations. Yeah, sure. The fact that having a conversation is dangerous is so telling that people need to be having these conversations. That's why these people are here with us right now, because they want to have this conversation. People want this. They want to show that's why people get so mad at Black Lives Matter. The phrase of course it does. Of course your lives matter. No, they're trying to convince the general public that there's people out there that don't feel that way. When people respond with, no, well, all lives matter, they're saying no one believes that because we believe all lives do matter.
The idea is that all lives matter encompasses Black Lives Matter.
Right.
There is an issue I take with it in that people respond with all lives matter.
Right.
If someone yells Black Lives Matter, I'd say, hear, hear.
Yes, exactly.
I completely agree.
Yeah, stop.
You're right.
Right. Stop trying to prove them wrong, because Black lives do matter.
Yeah,
you're right. You're absolutely right. They absolutely matter. No doubt. No questions.
This is the way I put it. Like, the big problem right now is the far left manipulating. And so you end up with these people who are saying things like Black Lives Matter, but then using that as a Trojan horse to bring in communism and other weird socialist
with the patriarchy is one of the top lists on the Black Lives Matter movement.
Breaking apart the family.
Why that breaking apart the family? What?
Yep, it's the great equalizer. If no one has
that's
a family.
Ridiculous.
There's a creepy commercial.
There's a direct correlation with not having a father figure and a mother figure, and
it's actually
crimes
just
going up. Oh, excuse me. Okay, two parents.
We need more research on it.
Sure.
But I was actually reading, because this is a big conversation having to do with LGBT rights.
Okay. And
I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it was one of the intellectual dark web, high profile, anti-intersectionalist people who said the current data we have shows that you need two parents. A single parent household is what results in, like higher crime rates and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Fatherlessness does play a specific role. But they ultimately said we need to do more research on whether or not it's specifically male-female or just two parents. But so far the data we have is two parents.
Okay.
I'm not pretending to be the scientist who has all the answers.
Well, and I'm certainly not. I just every day I further myself a little more than the day before, and I really try to understand more and more, and especially now I'm seeing that. The classic nuclear family that like people talk about, it's like that's needed. We need that. We need to cherish that, because that breeds more community. People they grow up with a sense of worth. They actually can see how to be, and that's what they strive to be.
It's hard to know, to be honest. When I look at a lot of the data pertaining to families, it's hard to know for sure.
Yeah.
But my question is, why is breaking apart the traditional family structure a goal
of Black Lives Matter? Why?
It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense.
It's the Trojan horse. They found the way in.
Yep, absolutely.
So here's the way I see it. My response, and I think the appropriate response, if someone, I was talking to a friend of mine, we were arguing about a lot of politics.
Okay.
And I was asked, so actually, Eric Swalwell, he's the guy who farted on MSNBC. Cheat an election. He said in Congress, is there any Republican who can unequivocally say Black Lives Matter? And then no one speaks up. And I think it was Matt Gaetz who he said something like, yes, they do, and all lives matter, or something like that. And he's like, no, just say Black Lives Matter. My response is absolutely.
Yeah.
If someone came to me and said, so I was talking to my friend, and they said, Would you agree that Black Lives Matter? I said 100%, absolutely. I will hold that sign right along with you.
Yeah.
And I would also then say to the people with the All Lives Matter signs, I'd shake their hand too and say, hey, how about you guys who are concerned about Tony Timpa, I think his name was, right?
Yeah.
I feel your pain. You're completely right. The people mad about Breonna Taylor, you are also right. Hey, guess what? You're both right.
Yep.
What if we work together and got justice for all of these people?
Yeah.
And then it doesn't need to be about your slogan separating us based on tribe. We can actually come together.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe I say this. If you think the Breonna Taylor is or George Floyd is more deserving of attention than, say, Tony Timpa, I'm not going to argue. I'm going to say, all right, I will fight with you for justice for George Floyd. I would do it unconditionally, to be honest, but I ask you a favor. Afterwards, can we talk about Tony Timpa?
Yeah.
And guess what people are going to say? Yeah, of course.
Yep.
So, the way I see it is there is real compromise between say actual Black Lives Matter activists, not the Trojan horse far leftists who have hijacked the movement.
Yeah.
Yes, which is what many of the high-profile Black Lives Matter people have said. If someone comes to me and says, police brutality is affecting my community, I'm like, let me know what you need me to do, man.
Boom.
Let me know. Because I'm not down with people having their civil rights violated.
Agreed.
Right.
That includes tearing down a community statue because that's violating the rights of the people who live there.
Mm-hmm.
That includes someone losing their life at the hands of cops and the cops not being held accountable.
Yep.
So you end up with these, conflicting slogans that don't need to be conflicting at all.
Yep.
It's like, can you hold up a sign with both? Can you have a sign saying Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter, and let's work together to fight for those who have lost their lives unjustly?
Boom.
There's a bunch of memes that go around about this that for some reason seek to discredit All Lives Matter.
And I don't get that.
Me neither.
It's like both sides arguing that the sky is blue.
Right.
It's blue. No, it's a darker shade of blue. It's like
No,
blue.
it's black.
It's blue.
The
Everyone,
sky is black.
It's blue.
You're talking about refracting particles. That's an illusion. No, I don't care about that. I'm telling you, I can see it and it's blue. Instead of being like, friends, you're both just so awful. Shut up.
Yeah.
Regular people understand that literally the sky is black, and that due to reflecting moisture, water molecules or whatever, it creates an illusion.
It is actually cool to think about the fact that the blue light you see is just one part of the spectrum of colors that is shining through. It's just sunlight refracted. It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
I think about that when I look at the blue sky.
This picture. I found it in 2 seconds. Look at that. I'm so good at what I do.
Here,
Not that one. This one.
There we go.
Let's.
The right meme here.
Oh yeah. This is great.
So this is a very famous image that I see all the time. I don't know what its origin is, but look at the camera. For those that are listening, let me explain it to you. There's a man with a knife chasing a man. On camera, it looks like the man running is actually the man doing the stabbing because the camera only captures a specific portion of the incident. It's a really interesting way of thinking about how media narratives frame what's actually going on.
Yeah, it nails it.
Basically, the guy running, his foot is pointed, and the guy swinging the knife is screaming. So on camera, you see a guy screaming and a pointed object coming his way.
Yep.
When in reality, the guy screaming is the one doing the stabbing. So it's a good representation of how the media skews our perspective of everything. But I want to go back to, you're talking about your arguments with people on Facebook.
Okay.
Why are people arguing with you on Facebook?
Because I'm being vocal and I'm asking questions. That's really the thing. I'm asking questions. It all started from someone posting a meme. It was, Black Lives Matter say we need police reform, and then they're like, okay, let's get rid of Aunt Jemima, and then they're like, yeah, okay, well, what about police reform? And then they get rid of Uncle Ben's, and then yeah, but what about police reform? And there was a bunch of different things, and then someone started writing. It's like the Republicans tried to do this, and blah blah.
Not specifically, like what is going on in their minds where they're like, aha, Adam said something, I must be angry with him. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people that are swayed by the mainstream media. They're running on emotions. So they get triggered whenever they see someone that isn't speaking to the narrative that they want.
What do they get?
That's a great question. I don't know. I'm
So-
trying to figure that out myself.
So when we break this down, what do we have? We have Republicans offered up a reform policy.
Yep.
Democrats shot it down.
Yep.
So
right.
So what are these people arguing for if they're not winning anything?
I don't know. And not only are they not winning anything, they're mad at the Republicans in this situation. Because all I said was the person who posted the meme and then someone responded, and I just said, hey, look, I because of my job, I'm actually really aware of things that are going on in the political realm, and this is actually true. The Republicans put forward a bill and the Democrats shut it down. And period.
Yeah.
So what I said was just the truth, right? Nothing more, no biased. But man, did I get blasted. People were just, oh, haha, nice try. And then they, posting these anti-Trump memes and saying all this stuff about how they got me. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, I literally just said the truth. This actually happened. They did shut it down, and they're like, yeah, well, you're clearly biased because you said the Dems shut it down, so you're clearly not a Democrat. You hate Democrats. And I'm just like, you guys are changing. No, not changing. They're adding their own narrative, and I guess their nuance to what I said and making it fit what they want to scream about.
We need sports back. We need sports.
Actually, no, that's funny that you should say that. I agree. Sports are a way for us to blow off steam. We can hate each other comfortably. Oh, you like that team? Well, I like this team. Rah! And it answers that. And we haven't really realized that video games are the new sport. That it is the newer version of it. You know, people, you get that.
Yeah,
you know, esports. It's huge. That's why it's so big, because everyone has access to it. But you don't have to be physically fit. You don't have to be good at sports. All you need is good hand-eye coordination.
But so look, when I was younger, I used to actually get mad that people were so obsessed with sports because they'd argue about Sox versus Cubs, and it was always partial, like typically, you know, a little bit in jest. Because,
yeah, but I mean, it's not even an argument. Cubs are better.
Sure. They're actually not, but you know. Anyway, the point is.
Oh my gosh.
Actually,
I'm clearly a Cubs fan.
Statistically, they're not better, right?
No, they're not.
You admit it.
Oh, boo.
No. Statistically, all right, the Sox have been a better team, but the Cubs finally just won.
Premium
and I've
brand.
been to many Cubs games. You know, I sang with Harry Carey. I've been to Wrigley Field.
Well, look,
I got a big soft spot for Chicago sports teams.
I think all in all, sports have been kind of dwindling. And, you know, here's what I was going to say. When I was younger, I was actually mad that people wouldn't pay attention to the world around them because they were too obsessed with sports. Now, as I get older, I'm like, maybe that's a good thing because people don't actually care. Just want to fight you. That's why I was asking you, like, why are they arguing with you?
Because listen, that's a good point.
Listen, I read the news literally all day, every single day.
Yeah.
I just read news. And it's funny when you get these far leftists being like, Tim's not a real journalist. All he does is read articles. It's like, bro, do you know like how much research I have to do every single day?
You claim that you only work for
I record about 4
hours
to 4 hours of content.
Right. But
And it's
that you
12
all
hours
day long. I trust me, I see it all day long. This guy is a machine. He is just constantly researching,
fact checking
all day long,
doubling down.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'll tell you what, there are several instances where like you'll bring something up like, hey, I heard this, and I'll say, oh, actually that's not true because of this, that, and this. You're like, really? Wow. And then we'll look it up. Then sometimes you're like, oh, actually I found the source, it's true. And I'm like, oh wow, how about that?
Yep.
And then several instances I'm like, actually here's the source of that meme. And so when it comes to like that story about the dude driving the car on the highway, I watched like 5 different videos.
Yep.
I watched the live stream from the woman who got hit as she was streaming as she got hit.
Oh, wow.
I read all the articles and I said, here's what's actually happened. And then you have all these people who are like on team left who aren't reading it saying he drove around the police barricade and then went the wrong way on the highway and hit somebody. And I'm like,
and that's the truth.
Didn't happen.
So I'm going to scream it to everyone.
So here's what I see happening. You have people on Facebook who argue with me. And it's the funniest thing, because I'm like, with all due respect, what do you do for a living? And they'll say like,
what is the answer?
No, I'm like, someone will tell me like, oh, I'm a warehouse forklift operator. I say, okay, let me just make this point, okay? And again, with all due respect, I respect your opinion. However, at a certain point, wouldn't you defer to the experts on the issue?
Yeah.
And so I actually got in an argument with this dude, and he was talking about how much smarter he was and how he knew all these things. And I say, you realize that I've like been doing this for a decade. I read nothing but news all day, every day, nonstop from all different sources, fact checking all day, every day. 10 years, okay? Would you go to a doctor when he says, here's my prescribed treatment, and go, I read actually on Twitter that this says I shouldn't be doing, what you prescribe? And that's why I got really mad when Trump was talking about hydroxychloroquine, the treatment for COVID, and then all these pundits were like, don't do it, it's dangerous. Like Cavuto on Fox News was like, it'll kill you. And I'm like, no, stop. Don't listen to any of these people. Listen to your doctor, please.
Right.
Don't listen to Trump. Listen to your doctor. If your doctor says it's safe, trust your doctor. That's all I can really say.
And technically speaking, Trump, I watched that speech. He was actually referring to from a doctor.
His doctor.
That's told him that. So he was like, this is something that they're finding. And it's promising. And people were like,
why would someone want to argue so bad that they would think they know better than I do when I'm being respectful? I'm not insulting them. I'm just saying, here's the source. I can prove what I'm saying. And their source is a meme. Yeah. And so I actually told this guy, I was like, bro, look, I'm done playing games. You're, as far as I can tell, like you to me are like an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
Like you've got a doctor saying, here's what I think about the medication. And then you're just like, nope, don't care. I work in a warehouse, but I know better than you. So that's why, like for me, like on the issues of vaccines or masks or whatever, I'm like, look, man,
Yep.
I got to be honest. When it comes to Fauci, I don't listen to a word that guy says anymore.
Same here.
You know, and I'm not the only one saying that. There are like a lot of people have finally come out and been like, he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
But I still defer to the doctor. So here's what I say. Listen, ignore the public PR debate over like masks and all that stuff. And it is a problem when our governors are playing PR politics, you know, instead of actually what we need. Ask your doctor. If your doctor says wear it, I take your doctor's advice. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So the problem with tribal politics instead of tribal sports is that people now are invested in simply fighting for the sake of fighting because they have their team, you know.
Well, it's in our nature.
I'm on
People
team
want to fight.
left. You're on team right. Therefore, I'm going to fight you. And it's like, this is actually negatively impacting our way of life. Can you go back to talking about Sox versus Cubs again? Because at least then you deferred politics to people who are more interested.
I don't even think it's that people want to fight. I'm going to correct myself that I just said that, because when I look at it, it's people want a purpose. And as little of a purpose it is to just be rooting for a sports team, that fills that purpose.
Yeah.
I'm so proud that my team won, and I've got my friends that love my team. You got community, right? You've got a purpose. You've got something you're looking forward to. You're excited about the game on the weekend. You're looking forward to it. Doesn't matter what you're doing.
You got a rivalry.
You've got a rivalry. You got someone to like hate upon, like in the best way possible. What, you got something to add?
Yeah, so I think people mostly just want to belong. And I think that's what being part of a fan group is.
Boom.
I think that's why sports is so important, because I have long said I don't really care for sports. I don't follow sports. And I was like Tim. I thought that people who followed sports were kind of silly.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, if it gives them something to like rally around and someone to cheer for and an enemy that's not harmful to root against,
Boom.
where is the harm here? As long as you're also focusing on like
And seriously, for all the people that are on Team Timcast IRL, why haven't you smashed the like button?
Oh, great question.
That's what I'm saying.
really
right
what
now.
I wanna know.
You know?
Adam's game.
That's what I'm talking about. Why aren't you smashing the like button? We should have
Do it.
50,000 likes right now.
So we
Smash it. Hold on, I'm not done.
Wait.
I'm not. Smash the like button.
There we go.
Smash. Yeah.
There we go.
All right, I'm good. You can continue now, Tim.
You know, typically when I read the history about like the Colosseum, you know, bread in circuses, it's usually negative. Like the people were distracted from the real issues that oppressed them in exchange for being thrown loaves of bread.
Right.
Or actually, I love the. We just watched Waterworld. Have you guys? When was the last time you guys watched Waterworld with Kevin Costner?
Yes.
The smokers.
I've seen it so many
and
times.
so
I love that movie.
the guy is like driving through the ship and he's throwing cigarettes to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of it. Like we look back on this rather negatively.
Yeah.
But maybe humans need something to make them to
be a part of something.
Yeah. Otherwise, they'll be a
That's
part
really
of
what it
something
is.
more violent.
That's true.
Or they'll shield violence. So if the team sport right now, I think this is it. I think Democrats in their desperation tried to weaponize tribalist politics, and that's like the one ring they couldn't do it properly.
Yep.
And they've unleashed the demons that they should not have unleashed. When they lost to Trump, they didn't know why, and so even during the campaign against Trump, they were trying to embrace this escalating progressive far left. They didn't, you know. I think Bernie actually caused a lot of problems for them.
Yeah.
He blindsided them.
I can see that.
It's very obvious to me that when you look at how they were handling the Democratic primary, it was going to be a very quick dropout to make sure Hillary won.
Yep.
Because she was supposed to win in 2008 and then Obama stole it.
That's true.
So then I think their plan was it was going to be her, but Bernie had a real grassroots moment they could not contain.
It's true.
And so their only option
To try it themselves.
was to pander to Bernie's base.
Right.
Saying, how do you stop the rebellion in the ranks of the Democratic Party? Because you know what the real problem was? Everybody hates Hillary Clinton. I'm not exaggerating. Everyone. The few people who pretend to like her
Are just scared of her.
Seriously, yeah.
Same thing.
Just pretend.
I mean, look, there are cronies who are in the game who are happy with her.
Yeah.
But I
Probably.
think she wanted the presidency, and I blame her 100% for the demise of the modern Democratic Party as it stands today.
Yeah.
Because it was her turn. She had to be president, even if it means destroying everything. So what happened? Because she was so hated by people, a large portion of the Democratic voter base said Bernie Sanders. And then the Democrats went into panic mode, trying to stop the rebellion within their ranks. And the only way to do it was to shut Bernie up, but then pander to his base. Otherwise, the revolt would continue.
Yep.
And they couldn't stop it. If Hillary, in my opinion, if it wasn't Hillary, I don't know who they would have run. If you had someone who is more charismatic, there would not be a far left insurgency among the Democratic Party for the most part.
Okay.
Because a charismatic leader, like Obama was for universal health care in his first term.
I didn't know that.
He never got it done.
Okay.
He said, mark my words, by the end of my first term, we will have universal health care or something like that. Never happened. And that's a pretty far left position. But he was still widely popular among the Democratic Party, even after his second term ended.
Okay.
They could have found someone who was like Obama. And I'm not saying Obama was good. He's a horrifying thing, especially in terms of war. If they had found somebody who was just charismatic, there wouldn't have been the Bernie uprising, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, there probably still would have been a big populist insurgency because that happened on the right and the left with Bernie and Trump. Trump probably still would have won, but the Democrats today would be fighting a very different fight. They would have, in my opinion, a real chance to defeat Trump, because what I've always said is Trump is moderate on a lot of policy, and he's done great by the economy. He started no new wars. He wants to bring our troops back. He's really hitting a lot of these key important points that the regular Americans care about.
Yep.
If the Democrats had someone who had those exact same policies, but was clean-mouthed, to put it lightly, I think they'd win.
Yep.
Easily. Because I think they'd really, really win. Trump does, look, when you listen to what Trump has to say, you realize he's not nearly as bad as the media makes him out to be. But Trump does behave in a way that's very easy to weaponize against him. Unfortunately for him, they use it. And there was a viral post on Reddit where Trump was doing the thing with his arm. You ever see this?
Yeah.
And someone commented, I don't know how this wasn't the end of Trump as soon as it came out. And then people mentioned the locker room talk tapes and stuff like that. And the reality was, those people who are like, how did that not end Trump, never looked into what it was.
Exactly.
And the people who...
They get their news from memes.
They get their news from memes on Reddit and on Facebook. And unfortunately for the Democrats, a lot of these people aren't going to vote. Like the young people who get their news from memes, it's not going to happen. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify. And we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.